After graduating from Loyola Marymount University with a degree in history, I decided to go back to my alma mater and teach for a while, Bishop Montgomery High School, where I started the very first fishing club. What a great time! We went to San Clemente Island on a trip and caught lots of fish. We fished locally and we learned about the local environment, and the kids absolutely fell in love with the great sport of sport fishing. I still talk to many of those kids today. They were great students, great anglers, and those were memories for a lifetime. That's dear friend Wayne Shimabukuro catching some nice walleye, perch, and bar perch. He called me up after his catch and he said, Phil, I want to make a donation to the little girl in Mexicali, Baja California with Down syndrome, Natalia, who urgently needs heart surgery. So Wayne and I met up and he made that donation. He said he got his inspiration from Doug Tilk watching Doug make a similar donation recently. Wayne, really appreciate what you're doing, so I'm going to make you a really special breakfast as a small way of saying thank you. Thank you so much, Wayne, for making the world a better place and making the Friedman Adventures family so strong. Good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. You see that full moon and that gorgeous Eastern Pacific laid out there. It looks like a beautiful day. The native sun starting the halibut / bass derby today out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. There's some great long-range fishing going on. We're going to do a surf fishing event down here. You better bundle up. It'll be toward the end of the month, and you're all invited. And of course, we've got so much more, including a big screw-up of mine yesterday at Costco in Huntington Beach, California. Let me get set up for the morning briefing, everybody. Good morning to you all. Hope you're having a great morning. Thanks for spending some time with us. And back in a moment with the morning briefing. Welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. It's gorgeous with that sunrise and that full moon and that beautiful ocean back behind me. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, does that feel good? Because it's freezing down here this morning. Freezing for us babies in Southern California, at least. Man, there's a little bit of a breeze, but not bad at all so far on a gorgeous morning, Wednesday morning here in Southern California. If you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Share these videos with a friend. Tick the little bell, and you'll be notified when there's new content. And subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Really great to be with you all. Now, I mentioned that I had a screw up yesterday at Costco. Get this. I'm getting back to my car with some stuff that I just bought there, and I pull my keys out of my pocket and I hear this clink on the ground. I'm like, boy, did I drop some change or what? And I look, and my key, the metal part, is gone. It's no longer there. So, no problem. I'm gonna find this. It's gotta be right here. I can't find it. I'm looking for 20 minutes and I can't find it. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then all of a sudden, this young lady sees what I'm doing, and instead of turning around and running in the other direction, she says, hey, what are you looking for? So I explained my dilemma to her, and man, she comes over and looks around for about 20 minutes with me, and finally, I find the key, that part, the metal part, in this crevice that was 1,000,000 to 1 shot for it to have fallen in there. Of course, I'm not going to win the lottery, but my key is going to fall down. She runs to her car, gets these tweezers, saves the day, saves the old man from peril, and if there's some way this gets back to her, you have all my gratitude and thanks. Really appreciate all your time yesterday. All right, so much to talk about, my friends. Let's jump into it, and let's talk about Mexico first of all. It's a little chilly here this morning, but I'll pull that down. What the heck? As I go for a walk here on the beach, it's gorgeous. It's Lake Pacific. Again, so many of you left comments yesterday about how beautiful and calm the ocean looked, and it's much of the same today. You might see a gray whale passing by. Again, it's beautiful with Catalina Island back there. It's a gorgeous morning, no doubt about it. Down in Cabo San Lucas, there's still a little bit of striped marlin down there, occasional wahoo and dorado, and we're also seeing some good yellowfin tuna fishing. La Paz, Jonathan Roldan, and Jill, they're down there at Tail Hunter International. Still seeing some unusual stuff. A few dorado, they even hooked a sailfish the other day. Mulaje Loreto, they have great yellowtail fishing going on, and 140 miles down below the border, not far at all from us here in Southern California, in San Quintin, there's some really good yellowtail action at times down there, and excellent rock fishing. And as we described to you, that water feels pretty cold, 50 something, 50, 56, 57, something like that. How would I know, right? Anyway, down there in San Quintin, we're seeing really good rock fishing with that yellowtail action. And Ensenada, only 70 miles down below the border. In fact, I might be down there here shortly working on some new projects down there to help some of the old people's homes down there. But in Ensenada, we're seeing really excellent fishing for rockfish, lings, and reds, and all kinds of great rock fishing going on there. And, you know, some guys still will pick off a halibut or a sand bass or a calico bass down there, some big bonito running around. And it's not out of the question to catch some yellowtail down there also during this time of the year. Again, yo-yo iron yellowtail, surface iron yellowtail, sometimes breezing around Todos Santos Island or over there by Punta Banda. That is a reality, and you can take advantage of that. Once again, we have the Santa Ana winds whipping up, and they are affecting Rosarito Beach, where there is a fire that started. That down by Primo Tapia, and we're watching that very, very closely. Ventura now has a fire. There's several other fires that have broken out, and all our thoughts and prayers and thanks go to our first responders and firefighters who give so much for you and I every single day, laying their lives on the line, and all the people who have suffered here in Southern California and now down in Mexico. We are praying for you, keeping you in our thoughts and prayers. Hopefully this will all come to an end soon, but unfortunately we're gonna have these winds with us until about 5, 6 o'clock this evening, and then maybe get a little bit of a break in the action. So we are definitely hoping for that. Long range fishing, let's talk about it. Oh, hey, there's Todd back there in the background, no shirt on and out paddleboarding. I love the guy, man. Really, what a great way to start the morning. Long range fishing, spectacular down there, about 1,000 miles south of the border, Hurricane Bank. The boats that leave from San Diego are on 16-day trips, and they're having some phenomenal fishing down there. The Royal Polaris put the wood to the wahoo on their most recent trip, headed back to San Diego, enjoying some beautiful weather. Passengers finally starting to relax a little bit after some rigorous fishing. The wahoo bite was absolutely spectacular. 236 on the wahoo. Can you imagine how good that is? And those wahoo are such speedy critters. I mean, you'll hook one in the stern before you know it, they're in the bow. And I mean, like that happens. It happens so fast. You got to put your track shoes on and run after those things. Great wahoo bite. And then now you're going to check out some great yellowfin tuna fishing on the Royal Polaris. And I'm showing some video from the RP, but everybody down there is having great fishing. The Intrepid, the Red Rooster 3, the Independence, all those guys are all over it as you look at sizable yellowfin tuna being taken on the long range scene right now. In fact, most of those YFTs are in the $120 to $160 range, but we've had several fish over 200 pounds taken by all the boys down there. It has been absolutely spectacular. Great fishing going on the long range scene right now out of San Diego, California. And remember, That is a 1,000-mile run. David Choate. You know Dave Choate. He's been long-range fishing for a long time. There you see him on board the Independence with Soda Pop. They're out there putting the wood to the yellowfin tuna and really having a great time. So really wonderful stuff going on the long-range fishing. I don't know how it can get any better than it is right now. Good stuff. Hey, I mentioned we are going to have a surf fishing event. Put it on your calendar and I'll get you more details here. And I'll be talking about the surf fishing here in just a second. Sunday, January 26th, as long as our weather is good, we're gonna have a big high tide that morning, and it's gonna be at daybreak. And anytime you can get a high tide to come together with daybreak, man, those times are magical. I'm thinking some really good barred perch fishing here, some really hot coffee, bundle up, and come on down and have some fun. You can just bring coffee and a chair if you don't want to fish and just enjoy the ambience of the Eastern Pacific here with Friedman Adventures. We're going to call it our kickoff for the Bart Hall Show because it's the weekend right before the Bart Hall Show starts in Long Beach, California. So great stuff awaits you here at the beach. Sunday, January 26th, 6:30 in the morning till like 9, 10 or whatever. We'll have a really great time. You are all invited. All right, let's talk about what is going on here in SoCal because we got so much to talk about. I know the rockfish season is closed right now, but man, we have seen some outstanding fishing going on in the Southern California local boats. There's some halibut being taken, there's sculpin, there's whitefish, there's been some bass. It's not wide open, it's winter time, don't get me wrong, but enough fish to take home and have a little bit of a feast and maybe catch a big flatfish like the 19-pounder that leads the Derby down at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. We've seen some halibut taken down there on the Dolphin out of San Diego. And now the Native Son is going to start their halibut derby here in San Pedro, California. It's going to be great. And they have bass also involved in that. Great prizes, and the Native Son runs out of 22nd Street Landing Wednesday through Sunday. You get on board, you're in the Derby, and you can win some great prizes, catch some nice fish. And then Friday night and Saturday night, the Native Son's gonna do twilight fishing, where you're fishing structure bass, leadhead squid, 40-pound fluorocarbon, pull hard on those bass to get them out of the structure, and that always is a lot of fun, no question about it. So we've got all that going on right now, and Catalina Island continuing to produce some darn good fishing on whitefish, catching lots of whitefish right now. We've seen some really wide open blue perch fishing, and I'll tell you, I miss those things, man. They were absent from Catalina Island for quite some time, and it seems like they've returned now. So that's good stuff, and the possibility of a white sea bass or a halibut or something else looms large with all the squid we have in the local environment right now. That is all great stuff. Don't forget, if you're headed to Ensenada and you want a beautiful view and you want to be about 15 minutes from downtown, give Zeke Casas a call and check that out. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, it's John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. John, I could use you right now with the heat. Right now, man, I'm freezing to death down here. It's tax season. Tim Marquez is your man, the tax man. Awaits you, and he'll do a great job for you. And if your garage door hit you in the butt again this morning and it needs some fixing, then you want to talk to your garage door guy, Joe Welker. Joe will make that all better for you. Joe's been down here surf fishing with us. Hopefully he'll be able to make it on the 26th and meet many of you. So there you have it. Some really good stuff going on here on the local situation. Catalina Island this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The El Patron will be headed out there. And again, special low prices right now. No fuel surcharge, limited load. The El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing. www.longbeachsportfishing.org. So good stuff indeed going on there. Really, really excellent stuff. All right, in the Southern California surf, there's been some pretty darn good fishing going on, mostly on barred perch because it is so cold, and because barred perch prefer cooler water, we are seeing some excellent barred perch fishing going on. From down below the border, Rosarito Beach, down below there, San Quintin, Playa Socorro, Playa Bebe near Rosarito. Really good fishing up here around the San Diego area. And just down the street here on Anderson and Pacific Coast Highway, you know, where that tower is, you can see it back there where the sun is just starting to peek out. Right there yesterday, Wayne Shimabukuro was down there fishing. He had some walleye perch and some barb perch. He said it was really brisk action, lots of bites down there. He's fishing Berkeley camo worm. Any kind of bait you can use during the winter time is going to work better, and those Berkeley products are pretty darn effective. You can also go down here to Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway and pick up all the bait you'll need. And man, I'll tell you, some ghost shrimp or some worms will do wonders here in the Southern California surf. Right now, you can also throw a chrome crocodile or a lucky craft lure and maybe pick off a halibut or two. That is not out of the question. I'm hoping for some really excellent catches the day that we are down here. Now, Wayne, after he was catching those fish and sending me photos yesterday, he called me up and he said he wanted to make a donation to the little girl with Down syndrome in Mexicali, Mexico, who urgently needs heart surgery. He got his inspiration, he said, from Tackle Shop Confessions, when our very own Doug Tilk made a donation to Claudia, Natalia, the little girl's aunt, good friend of mine, and he said, man, I want to give you something. So I met up with him at Harbor House yesterday for a half-hour breakfast that turned into a 3-hour breakfast. Wayne totally enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun, man. He made a very generous donation. But before I went down there, I said, hey, I got to do something for Wayne, man. So I made him some of my world-famous breakfast burritos. So, you know, that was from my heart and with a lot of love. But unfortunately, I was doing some editing and they got a little burned. The chorizo that I was using, just a little bit. Wayne said he didn't notice it. He's too kind, but can't thank him enough. And he had some really good fishing in the Southern California surf. So there is some good stuff going on here. You'll see an occasional yellowfin croaker also, and man, a day like today is just perfect. It is so beautiful here this morning. You'd be able to pull some good fish out of here for sure, no doubt about that. Bart Hall show coming up at the end of the month. It finishes up on February the 2nd. So at the end of the month on a Wednesday through Sunday, that is going to be fantastic. I think it's Wednesday through Sunday, it might be Thursday through Sunday. I'll check on that and let you know. And once again, we continue to watch everything in between. Great long range fishing, some halibut derby starting up, and of course, we're keeping the great firefighters who are laying their lives on the line for us. We're keeping them in our hearts and prayers. Thank you so much for all you do for each and every one of us. All right. Woo. It is chilly out here. I'm working my way up here to my coffee cup so I can wish you a beautiful Wednesday, and thank you all for being here with us once again. God bless. Have a great one, and I hope to see you really, really soon.